Good morning, members, and those others that have joined us today. Record, my name's Mark McConkey. Took me a moment to see my room back with a wall and sitting in this configuration. And for years serving in here, I can't tell you how excited I am about that. So there aren't so many that are enjoying their rooms back, but we are. I'd like to, and I apologize for being 6 minutes late here. I'd like to start the Capital Project Overview Committee. First order of business would be nomination of we have new membership. There was a change. And I would like to start the process with nomination of a vice chair, if I could. Recognize Karen Ebel for a nomination.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. It's my pleasure to nominate Representative Mills to be Vice Chair of this committee.
I'll second the nomination.
Thank you, Sandra. Are there any further nominations? Seeing none, if you're in favor of the motion, Mills to be Vice Chairman, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimous. We now are in search of a clerk.
Mr. Chair,
Representative Mills,
I would like to nominate Representative Dan Eaton. Clerk, please.
thank you. Is there a second? Second by Weiler. Thank you. Any further nominations for clerk? Seeing none, if you're in favor of the motion for clerk, signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Representative, what a pleasure to have a new clerk. Thank you.
I used to like all of you. Oh, you got Pam Ellis down there. That's true. There you go.
All right. There has been a change in our agenda. A couple items are falling off of that. And we will get to that in just a moment. Let me find my agenda. Thank you. Already there. Excuse me, new business before us, RSA 1246-3, Harbor Dredging and Pier Maintenance Fund established. The request is 23020, Peace Development Authority, Division of Ports and Harbors. Authorization to expend up to $100,000 from the Harbor Dredging and Pier Maintenance Fund, subject to approval of PDA of Directors, purpose of funding, repairs to the pier at the Portsmouth Commercial Fish Pier. Gino, welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, Gino Marconi, and I am the Director of the Peace Development Authority, Division of Ports and Harbors, affectionately known as the Port Authority. This request comes as a result of us going out to public bid to do repairs at the Portsmouth Commercial Fish Pier. We did get some good bids in, but we were a little bit short of the money. And instead of taking away one of the adults in the contract or in the bid process, requesting to use some of the money out of the Harbor Dredge Pier Maintenance Fund so we can do the complete project and not leave one of the squares off the checkerboard. The commercial pier was built in 1977, and it's the cross bracing and some of the structural pieces under the pier and the deck on the pier. Interestingly enough, when we redid the seawall that abuts the pier, we had to take a row of the pilings out because the new wall was put a few feet out. We took the pilings out and put them in the parking lot, and we sliced them to see what the condition there was. And we were all just completely shocked that the pilings looked like they were brand new after all of these years. So we went back in and we revisited the what we were gonna go out to bid, and we removed that portion of replacing the pilings, and we're just doing the cross bracing and the deck and some of the fixtures on it, which, reduced the price down to what we have today, but we were just short a little bit of money, and, that's the purpose of our request here today.
Thank you. Questions from the members? Yes, Representative Del Sandro.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Gino, how are things that we repaired the pier? The pier that was falling apart a couple of years ago, that one near the bridge, that's all set now? And-
Yes,
and-
yeah, you mean the main ship wharf?
Right, right.
Yes, if I may, Mr. Chairman. Actually, the first of the week, we got the notice from the contractor substantially complete. So they're just doing a couple of punch list items on it, but that was 20 years in the making.
Yeah. And there was a further question?
Please.
And there was no problem with the fuel lines? There seemed to be some concern initially, but that's okay, everything is okay?
Down in Rye, we had some trouble with the fuel lines. It's the atmosphere in which it can, being in the salt water and the storm surge and everything. That's just the nature of the beast down at Rye Harbor with the fuel lines. We try to do what we can to do preventive construction and preventive maintenance on it, but the salt water has a very corrosive.
Yeah, effect. Sure, great. Thank you. Thank
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Further questions? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
I would move the item.
Moved by Del Sandro, seconded by Weiler. Any further discussion? If you're in favor of the approval for item number 23020, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, and have a great holiday and enjoy your families while you're at it.
Thank you.
Great job, Gino. Thank you always for the kind of work you
There's
do
a
for
hundred
us and for the
thou- hundred-
state. We just, we can't be more complimentary for the work that he's done over the last 100 years. That's how long he's been running that port. Thank you, Gino. Thank you.
I would agree, Sander, but I don't want my wife to hear the comment that you were a little short, and a little short's $100,000. So. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Shea.
Representative McConkey, you want to accept the minutes from the last meeting as well?
Thank you. Senator Gray, thank you.
Seconded.
Motion made by Gray, seconded by Mills to accept the minutes from September 15th. Is that the ones we're looking for? Any discussion, corrections, omissions? If you're in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? 4 abstain. We okay with that? Thank you. Motion carries. We have informational item 23021. Mr. Shea?
Thank you, Representative McConkey. So the informational item is the quarterly report that we discussed in length at the meeting in September. The Department of Transportation, you'll see that there's a letter from them that's item 23022. Originally, the plan had been for the department to come and discuss with you some of their concerns and questions around the quarterly report. If you look at the item 23021, near the back, there's a DOT addition to that quarterly report. By making the name from capital budget to capital projects overview, the department, and setting the threshold that we did at the last meeting, projects of $1 million or more, it added several hundred projects that the Department of Transportation would need to report on. So they just wanted to come before this committee to get a little bit clearer guidance. Due to timing, because I anticipated it would be a little bit of a discussion, the chair agreed that we should postpone this until the next meeting, which I think is planned potentially for January 26th. And so that's why the department's not here today. I had made them aware that there would probably not be a discussion related to this after talking with the chair. And the same thing happened with Fish and Game in terms of they were going to do an update on the online registration for OHRV today. Again, due to the short time and the confusion with the membership, we were concerned that we wouldn't have enough time to finish that and that there might be questions or people wouldn't be prepared to have a discussion today. So that's all I have on that, unless
Thank you.
anybody has
Any
a question
questions,
for me.
Mr. Chair, myself on that? We are, with the change in membership, we are now sitting with more from finance, and we appreciate that opportunity here. That should do nothing but help us, shouldn't it, David?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Right. So other than setting the next meeting date, which Mr. Shea had alluded to, January 26th, is there any other business that needs to be discussed at this time? All right. So without objection, and if there's scheduling problems, please get back to us. We'll tentatively set our next capital project overview committee meeting for January 26th
At 9 a.m.?
at 9 a.m. Mr. Shea, thank you. With that, entertain a motion. Moved and seconded to adjourn. If you're in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you all for your time.